Do you believe that walking is always a safe and healthy choice for older adults? The truth is, not everyone should walk too much, and in certain situations, walking the wrong way can quietly lead to a serious decline in health without you even realizing it. Welcome to Wellness Unlocked, where we share in-depth, practical, and evidence-based health insights. In today's video, I'll reveal 5 groups of seniors who should reconsider their walking habits, and what they can do instead to stay healthy and strong. These aren't just ordinary tips. They are important warnings based on real-life medical cases, common mistakes, and hard-earned lessons from clinical experience. This video is packed with essential information that no one else may be telling you. So make sure to watch until the very end to fully understand what matters most for yourself or your loved ones. Don't forget to leave a comment below if you feel you belong to one of these groups, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any of our upcoming health videos. Now, let's begin our journey to uncover the truth behind a habit that seems harmless: walking every day. 1. Seniors with unexplained fatigue or shortness of breath. Fatigue is one of the most misunderstood symptoms in older adults. While it's easy to dismiss as just getting older, persistent, unexplained tiredness, especially when paired with shortness of breath, can be an early sign of serious health issues that require attention. This isn't about being a little tired after a long day. It's about a deeper exhaustion, the kind that stays with you even after resting. It's about noticing you're more winded than usual while walking to the mailbox, or needing to catch your breath while doing something as simple as climbing a few steps. What many people don't realize is that this type of fatigue and breathlessness can be the early signs of heart failure, valve disorders, chronic lung disease like COPD or pulmonary fibrosis, or even anemia. These conditions don't always present dramatically. Instead, they quietly steal your energy and slowly erode your stamina. Often, older adults chalk it up to age, weight gain, or simply having a bad week. But ignoring these signs can be dangerous. The heart and lungs work harder as we age, and small changes in your energy levels can signal that these systems are struggling. Let's talk about George, an 81-year-old man who walked daily around his neighborhood park. For years, his morning walks were his favorite routine. They helped him feel energized and gave him a sense of control over aging. But gradually, George began stopping halfway through. He'd lean on a bench, telling himself he was just out of shape. One day, he didn't go out at all. Not from pain, but from fear. His breathing had become shallow, and he noticed his chest tightening even during light effort. At his daughter's insistence, George visited his doctor. After a full evaluation, he was diagnosed with aortic valve stenosis, a narrowing of one of the heart's key valves. Luckily, the condition was caught early. With medical treatment and a personalized exercise plan, including monitored walking sessions, breathing exercises, and proper warm-ups, George didn't just get stronger. He got peace of mind. He could walk again, confidently and safely, because he understood what his body was trying to say. This is why you should never ignore persistent fatigue or breathlessness. Here's what to watch for. Feeling unusually tired, even after getting good sleep. Shortness of breath with light activity. Needing to rest more frequently during walks. A racing heart or tightness in your chest without exertion. Legs feeling heavy or weak unexpectedly. These aren't signs of laziness. They are physiological warning signs. Your body isn't failing, it's asking for support. And the earlier you listen, the more options you have to recover, adapt, and thrive. So, what should you do? First, keep a simple log of your symptoms. What triggers the fatigue? How long does it last? Bring this to your doctor. Second, ask about heart and lung function tests or a basic blood panel to check for anemia or infection. Third, explore alternative forms of movement, like seated exercises, gentle stretching, or deep breathing routines until your stamina improves. Finally, be kind to yourself. Not every health concern demands stopping all activity, but it does require adjusting how and when you move. The goal isn't to give up walking, it's to make walking safe, purposeful, and in harmony with your current health needs. When your body speaks, listen closely. Fatigue may be the first page of a story your heart or lungs are trying to tell you. And by paying attention now, you just might write a much healthier ending. 2. Seniors with unstable blood pressure. At first glance, walking seems harmless, gentle, accessible, and ideal for aging bodies. But for seniors with unstable blood pressure, walking can shift from a beneficial routine to a dangerous risk, especially when the body is pushed during a blood pressure spike or sudden drop. High blood pressure, hypertension, and low blood pressure, hypotension, affect how blood moves through the body. When blood pressure becomes erratic, rising too high or dropping too low, physical activity like walking can place significant stress on the cardiovascular system. This might lead to dizziness, blurred vision, weakness, or even collapse. One of the hidden dangers is that blood pressure fluctuations often don't feel dramatic in the moment. A lightheaded spell is easily blamed on skipping a meal. Fatigue might be dismissed as poor sleep, but these subtle warnings are the body's way of saying something's out of balance. Let's look at the story of Harold, a 79-year-old retiree who had walked the same neighborhood loop every morning for 15 years. One morning, halfway through his usual route, he felt faint and had to sit on the sidewalk. A kind neighbor helped him home. It turned out Harold had recently started a new diuretic medication that caused his blood pressure to drop sharply. And the walk, something so routine, became a physical trigger for a dangerous episode. Harold's case isn't unique. In fact, research shows a clear link between blood pressure instability and fall risk during physical activity. Scientific evidence. A study published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, Finucane et al., 2014, found that orthostatic hypotension, a form of low blood pressure that happens when standing, was strongly associated with increased fall risk in older adults. The authors concluded that older people with impaired blood pressure regulation are more vulnerable to balance loss and sudden fatigue during even mild exertion. Finucane, C. O'Connell, MDL, Donahue, O. et al., 2014. Impaired orthostatic blood pressure recovery predicts falls in older adults. J. M. Geriater. SOC, 62-12, 2320-2325. This means walking may not always be safe, especially if blood pressure is not well controlled. Seniors who take medications such as beta blockers, ACE inhibitors, or diuretics may experience unpredictable dips in pressure during walks, increasing the risk of disorientation or injury. So what can be done? Here are key strategies to walk safely if you have unstable blood pressure. Monitor your blood pressure before walking. Use a home cuff to get a sense of your body's baseline. Walk during cooler times of day. Heat can exacerbate drops in blood pressure. Choose level, familiar terrain. Avoid hills or uneven paths. Never walk alone if you feel off balance or fatigued. Having a friend or caregiver with you adds a layer of safety. Use walking poles or a cane if stability is an issue. These assistive tools reduce your body's compensatory load. Stay hydrated. Dehydration can dramatically worsen hypotension. Remember, movement is still important, but it must be intentional and informed. If walking leaves you feeling drained, unsteady, or breathless, it's not weakness. It's your body signaling for help. Walking should empower you, not endanger you. With proper precautions and medical support, even those with blood pressure challenges can remain active, just in smarter, safer ways. 3. Seniors with peripheral neuropathy. For most of our lives, walking is automatic. We don't think about how our feet feel or how they connect with the ground. But for seniors with peripheral neuropathy, that connection starts to fade, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly, and walking becomes something far more dangerous than expected. Peripheral neuropathy is a condition where the nerves in your feet and legs are damaged, making it harder to sense touch, pressure, or pain. It's most often caused by type 2 diabetes, but it can also result from aging, infections, certain medications, or nutritional deficiencies. What makes it particularly dangerous is that it doesn't just make walking uncomfortable, it makes it unpredictable. Seniors with this condition might feel like they're wearing socks when they're barefoot, or feel as though they're walking on cotton balls. Steps become uncertain. Curbs look steeper. A tiny crack in the sidewalk becomes a hidden trap. The body is no longer receiving accurate information from the feet. And when you lose that feedback, you also lose a critical part of your balance. Let me introduce you to Susan, a 70-year-old retired nurse. For decades, she enjoyed her peaceful evening walks. It was her time to relax, clear her head, and breathe in the fresh air. But over the years, she noticed a tingling sensation in her toes. That tingling slowly turned into numbness. One evening, she misjudged a step on the driveway and fell. Not hard, but hard enough to make her nervous. After seeing her doctor, Susan learned she had diabetic peripheral neuropathy. But instead of giving up her walks, she made a few smart changes. She started walking indoors at her local community center, where the floors were flat and brightly lit. She bought new shoes with extra support and a wider base for stability. She even started doing balance exercises a few times a week to strengthen her coordination. The result? She got her confidence back. Susan didn't stop walking. She just stopped walking the same way. If you have peripheral neuropathy, here are a few simple but powerful changes you can make. Walk in well-lit, flat areas. Avoid uneven or unpredictable paths. Use a cane or walking poles if you feel unstable. Wear shoes with wide soles and firm support. Walk with a friend or in supervised environments. Focus on shorter, safer walks, not long, exhausting ones. Most importantly, don't ignore the signs. If you're tripping more often, losing your balance, or feeling unsure about each step, it's not something to brush off. It's a message from your body. And if you respond with care, you can still stay active and safe. Walking should never feel like a risk, and with the right adjustments, it won't be. 4. Seniors. Recovering from surgery. Recovery is not just about healing the wound you can see. It's also about rebuilding the strength and coordination your body quietly lost during rest. For seniors who have recently undergone surgery, whether it's orthopedic, abdominal, or even cardiovascular, the desire to get back to normal can be strong, but walking too soon or too far can do more harm than good. After surgery, your body is in a vulnerable state. Muscles weaken, reflexes slow, balance becomes unreliable. The healing process isn't just about letting incisions close. It involves restoring strength in the ligaments, stabilizing the joints, and retraining the nervous system to work together again. That takes time, and forcing movement too early can undo progress or even cause new injuries. Let me tell you about Frank. He's 74 years old and had lower back surgery after years of discomfort. He was proud of his active lifestyle and didn't want to lose momentum. Just a few days after being discharged from the hospital, Frank decided to take a short walk around the block. At first, everything felt fine, but by the end of the week, he started experiencing sharp pain down his right leg and a strange sense of instability. His surgeon later confirmed that his core muscles had not fully re-engaged, and the early strain had stressed nearby tissues. What Frank thought was progress ended up delaying his full recovery by months. Stories like Frank's are far too common. Many seniors are motivated and well-intentioned, but they often misunderstand what active recovery should look like. The goal isn't to return to your full routine overnight. It's to rebuild slowly, intentionally, and with guidance. A study published in the Journal of the American Physical Therapy Association highlights this risk. In their 2017 paper, Dr. Jennifer Blackwood and colleagues found that early unsupervised walking in post-surgical older adults led to a higher rate of secondary injuries and setbacks. The researchers emphasized that post-operative ambulation should be tailored to individual function and healing. Aggressive activity too early in recovery is associated with increased pain, fatigue, and fall risk. Blackwood, J. Powers, K. et al., 2017. Functional outcomes following early mobilization in older adults after major surgery. Phys. Ther. J. 97-7, 712-724. This means that simply encouraging seniors to walk it off may not be helpful or safe. Instead, Doctors and physical therapists should provide a personalized plan, including gradual increase in walking distance, core stability exercises to support posture, regular balance training, clear warning signs to stop and rest, a supportive walking environment, such as flat indoor surfaces. It's also critical to monitor for signs of fatigue, shortness of breath, or muscle weakness during early walking sessions. These are not to be ignored. They are signals that the body still needs time. The key takeaway is this: healing is not a race. It's a careful process. Movement is important, but only if it's done wisely and within the limits your recovering body can manage. Frank eventually recovered fully, but only after accepting that slowing down didn't mean losing ground. It meant respecting his body's timeline, not his own. 5. Seniors with advanced joint degeneration. As we age, the body's natural cushioning begins to wear down. The cartilage that once allowed our joints to move smoothly becomes thinner and less effective. For many seniors, this slow deterioration leads to a condition known as advanced joint degeneration. And while staying active remains crucial, the type of movement must change. Because for someone with this level of joint wear, not all activity is helpful, and walking may no longer be the safest or most effective form of exercise. Degeneration most commonly affects the knees, hips, and lower back. These are the major joints responsible for bearing the body's weight during walking. When the cartilage in these areas becomes worn, each step can bring bones closer to direct contact. This leads to pain, stiffness, and inflammation. Over time, walking on hard or uneven surfaces can worsen the damage, increasing discomfort and potentially leading to falls. Some seniors assume that joint pain is simply a normal part of aging and that they must learn to live with it. They continue to push through pain during their daily walks, thinking it's just soreness. But in reality, persistent or sharp joint pain during walking is often a sign that the body is under strain. Ignoring this pain can lead to more rapid joint deterioration, further reducing mobility and quality of life. Walking may still have a role, but it must be adapted. Hard pavement and long outdoor routes can be replaced with shorter walks on cushioned indoor tracks. Supportive footwear becomes essential, as does the use of walking aids if necessary. But more importantly, alternative forms of movement should be considered. Activities such as swimming, cycling, chair yoga, and gentle stretching exercises are not only safer, but also more joint-friendly. These forms allow the body to stay active without placing direct pressure on the damaged joints. It is also vital to recognize the warning signs that walking may be causing more harm than good. These include persistent swelling, grinding or clicking sounds in the joints, sharp pain after even short distances, or stiffness that lasts for hours. When these symptoms appear, it is not a sign of weakness to rest or modify activity. It is a smart, responsible response to a changing body. Movement should enhance life, not diminish it. For seniors with advanced joint degeneration, listening to the body and adjusting accordingly is key. Instead of forcing the same routine year after year, it is far more effective to adapt the approach based on current ability. This does not mean giving up walking entirely. It means walking in ways that support long-term mobility, comfort, and independence. When joint degeneration is present, the goal is not simply to keep moving, but to move wisely, with purpose, and with protection for the joints that have already carried a lifetime of weight. Walking is a beautiful way to stay connected to your body, your surroundings, and your sense of independence. But as we grow older, even the most familiar habits deserve a second look. The truth is, safe movement isn't just about doing more. It's about doing what's right for your body today, not the body you had 10 years ago. Whether it's fatigue, joint pain, nerve damage, post-surgical healing, or blood pressure concerns, listening to your body is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. Adjusting how you walk, or how often you walk, doesn't mean giving up. It means you're choosing to move with care, intention, and respect for the life your body has already carried. If you recognized yourself, or someone you love, in one of these 5 groups, don't ignore it. Talk to your doctor, ask questions, Explore safer ways to stay active. There's always a way forward, even if it looks a little different than before. Thank you for spending this time with us. If you found value in this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to Wellness Unlocked. It's a small action, but it means the world to us and helps us continue creating content that supports your health journey. Until next time, stay safe, stay kind to yourself, and remember, sometimes fewer steps can lead to more life.